The governor of Georgia making a trip to the southern border this week to check in on his state's National Guard troops stationed there and get a firsthand look at the growing crisis. This after calling out Vice President Kamala Harris for not yet making a visit to the U.S.-Mexico border herself. Joining me now, Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp. Governor, thank you for taking time on Saturday. You just heard a Democrat border state Congressman Henry Cuellar saying that it's not under control. What did you see on your visit to the border?
Well, he and Senator Kelly both got it right. It's a crisis. It's unbelievable what is happening there, Griff. I was there in December visiting our troops before the Christmas holidays, and much different right now. You look at the numbers in January, they had 17,000 apprehensions in McAllen, in that area they're patrolling. February went to 28,000. March, it was 62,000. They're going to hit 60 again. They're going to have 600,000 apprehensions just in this year at McAllen. So very, very much different than it was. The cartels are making a lot of money shipping people across the border. They're really have a strategic plan. They'll start throwing kids and people in the river that can't swim to divert Border Patrol agents from getting these cartel members. And then they'll also send people across to be a decoy to draw attention to them, and then send, float Ford Rangers full of drugs across the river and get them into the interior of the country. So really drastically different versus December when I was there.
Governor, you were out on the Rio Grande on a riverboat patrol there, so you saw just what you're talking about there. And I got a source in the RGV where you were, 2,245 apprehensions in the last 24 hours. If you could give just one piece of advice to the vice president who's spearheading this and President Biden about what needs to be done based on what you saw, what would that be?
Well, look, the first thing I think they should do is get on the ground there and talk to the Border Patrol agents that are doing this every day. Talk to the Texas troopers that I talked to the Georgia National Guardsmen that are there doing three different logistic missions, flying helicopters to help spotting with the Border Patrol, fleet maintenance, and working in the Tactical Ops Center to run cameras that were mentioned earlier. And really get an understanding for what's going on. I mean, they are being overwhelmed. They need some more people. They need more resources. I had the opportunity to bump into Governor Abbott for just a few minutes after being briefed by all of his folks. I mean, they are going to be spending a fortune, just the state of Texas is next year, to help support a federal mission of protecting the border. I mean, it's really terrible what's happening. And these kids, to say the crisis is over is not true. They've moved these children that were in the cages that they, cried about months ago, and they're just moving them to different parts of the country. And I can tell you that people on the ground there are really worried that the Title 42, if that goes away, it'll be worse than it is now, which is hard to believe. I mean, this is the worst numbers ever since they've been keeping them on people coming across the border and the number of apprehensions.
You mentioned Title 42. That's the health concern mechanism for which we do deport people. Let me ask you what you make of the fact that on the day that you went to the border, President Biden came to Georgia and was heckled by anti-ICE activists. Take a quick listen to what he got treated to.
Well, Georgia. I agree with you. I'm working on it, man. Give me another 5 days.
Agrees with him. Does that concern you that the president's really not getting the message from the border agents you talked to?
Yeah, I heard a little bit of that on the news coverage, and I don't quite understand that. Obviously, he doesn't understand what's happening on the border. Instead of coming to Georgia, he really should be going to McAllen, Texas, or Arizona, or some of these other places, and really getting a handle on what's going on in our country.
And Governor, thank you for taking time. In just about 10 seconds we got left, you're intending to sign some bills regarding human trafficking?
Yeah, we've look, our First Lady's doing as much as anybody in the country to end human trafficking, but not only that, Griff, also to support the victims of human trafficking. We had 3 additional pieces of legislation again this year, unanimous support in our legislature. So we continue to move the needle on that tragic issue.
Governor Brian Kemp, thank you very much for taking time. Have a great rest of your Saturday.